Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Wednesday, 24th of October 2018. The pound yesterday managing to book the trend that we've seen for a few days and managing to move higher until prices close back below the 200 bar moving average, then the DP, then the 130 level, and you can then see prices were lower. And this is how it looked in the daily chart. In fact, just before we move over to that, you can see where we are currently, we're back below the DP as well. So the weakness that this market's seen, even though it attempted to move high yesterday, failed to close above the 76% retracement, and is heading back down to the 129.23 level that we see here. So the weakness coming back into this market. Anything in red? Nothing in red. Let's move on. Actually, here's something for you. About time as well. Crude oil inventories have been downgraded to a medium-term impact news item, which I've been talking about for a very long time in this overview. Should never have been a high-impact one anyway, so yeah, about time. Because there's been absolutely zero impact on the market with regards to those figures anyway, so... meanwhile, in the Dow, let's have a look at the daily chart first, bigger picture, because yesterday we were talking about this level, and also the 200 bar moving average. The prices needed to get back above this level in order to show any sort of interest to the upside. They tested the market yesterday. The plunge protection team were out in force, which we'll see in just a moment. They'll do anything to get this market up, trust me. And Trump's going to do whatever he needs to do. Which brings me to this article, and I nearly resorted to extravagant language when I saw this because it's just ridiculous. Trump escalates attack on Powell every time we do something great. He raises interest rates. No, absolutely not. What an absolute moronic thing to actually say. As I said before, I'm not a fan of Trump. I'm not a fan of any political leader, frankly. They're all... how can I put it politely? Morons. And what Powell is doing, and he can't see it, is simply this. They reduced interest rates way back in 2008. They kept them more or less at zero for the last 8 years. Then they started raising rates. And the reason they're raising rates has got nothing to do with the economic data, because we all know that's fabricated and cooked. It's to do with the fact that there is another crisis coming, which is really the second half, or to finish off what happened in 2008, and they're raising rates so they have something, some sort of ammunition, when this event hits, that they can drop interest rates to give it another soft landing. The problem is, because the interest rates were kept down for so long and so low, it's created bubbles. Those bubbles are going to burst. They always burst. It's just a matter of time when they do. And we're starting to see that effect at the moment. We're not getting the same rapid recovery off these plunge protection team bounces, and that's because interest rates have risen. They've more or less, gone up 100%, over 100% increase in interest rates, which is having a massive impact on any loan payments. So what Powell is doing is giving himself a cushion, started off by Yellen, so that they know what's coming down the line. They know it's going to be catastrophic, and this way it gives them a little bit, as opposed to when they were 6% in 2008 and they dropped them down to zero. They haven't got that this time, unfortunately. So Trump, who hasn't got a sodding clue about how any of this works, it's just laughable, really. I'm just saying... As he says here, I'm just saying I'm very unhappy with the Fed because Obama had zero interest rates. Absolutely, honestly, it's a joke, an absolute joke. The entertainment value of this man is breathtaking. But there you go. So that's the reason they're doing their best to try and get the Dow back. It looks like it's not going to work this time. We could actually be seeing the start of a falling apart of this market. And any rally we do get in this is really going to be short-lived before we then start seeing something like this, because it just seems to have... There's nothing that they can do. They can get the market up for one day. It's going to, and in these days here, as I said, they were on low volume when we had the up days. And then we had some selling coming in here on this bar. So it's starting to look pretty grim for the Dow, and like I said, let's say pull a rabbit out of the hat. This market is looking very perilous and weak as we go further into the next few months. We'll see what happens when he wins the midterm, or if he wins the midterm, I should say, and everything's pointing in that direction at the moment because there's no real Democratic candidate. So if he wins or retains the House of Representatives, then yeah. So closed below the 76%, which also coincides with the 200 bar moving average. We'll see prices continue to move lower. And yesterday it took a moment or two, but the market up, trading to the R2 in the pre-market session, all the way back down to R1, and then up and then down. And apart from this signal here, they were all winners. And then at the end of the session, you see the market closing back above the 200 bar, finding support at the 200 bar moving average. It closed through here, and then they drove the market back up. And interestingly enough, at this point here, you can see there was no selling around, and it allowed them to do exactly that. Also, that again, how can I put it politely? Jim Cramer, TV host of CNBC, he's shouting from the rooftops as well about buying stocks. And he did exactly the same with Bear Stearns in 2008. Look it up on the internet. And then a few days later, it crashed to zero. And this man is still allowed on the mainstream TV. But then again, he's unconscionable anyway, and that's why he's there, just to get the weaker traders into the market, those who think they're going to miss out, to actually buy in. So yeah, it's got all of the hallmarks of there's something around the corner with this lot. This is the overnight, so the market's been up, it's come back down, and at the moment it's just sitting at the 25,200 level. Bit of testing going on there at the moment. Like I say, they're going to do whatever they can to buy back this market and move it to the upside. Meanwhile, in Bitcoin, this is still quiet. You can see this here, stuck in a bit of a range. Bit of a spike overnight, which you can see in the 4 hour, up to the 6488 level there. And really, that's it for this roundup. Say a bit of a winter in Bitcoin at the moment, as prices are sideways and not doing a lot. Okay, that's it. If there's anything to report, I will let you know. But other than that, as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.